Hello and welcome to Check Personal Trainer London, or Active Bryant Fitness Systems is the website. I'm Scott Bryant, your host. And what I'm going to talk about is all about fake shamans and fake healers and fake energy people. And lots of unscrupulous people are doing this in which to just to take your money off of you and to try and sell you a dream of that they can fix you. Now, in the Peruvian shaman 9 rites, it's not about the shaman fixing you, it's about you fixing yourself. They just are the tool to get you to understand and to open you up in different parts of the chakra system in which to get you to open up your mind and for the body to start healing itself. Does that make sense? So I went to see one shaman and she put a big crystal on my chest, put a dead raccoon next to me, done a bit of chanting, messed around with my head as he moved it about, stuff like that. And I walked away, I paid £180 and didn't feel any different. So that really frustrated me. And I was just thinking maybe I'm a bit too wanting too much and thinking I'm going to see these things or see this huge change in my life. But it did open me up to find another shaman. So I found another shaman and she said that she knew the 9 rites and she'd been practicing it and she's going to teach me the whole system in 3 days. Now, the whole system takes 38 days and you've got to do it with Alberto Villoldo himself. And then he gives you a bit of paper to say that you studied with the Four Winds Society and learnt it through them. Does that make sense? So Alberto Villoldo is a doctor and an anthropologist. So he studied indigenous populations throughout the world and shamanism and learned the Peruvian 9 rites, which is only shared with the few. And obviously to be a shaman and to be that open-minded to spirit world, you've got to be a special type of person to want to do that in the first place. So I can remember when I studied Chet practitioner level 1, level 2 and level 3, I started using Tibetan bowls back then, which was 2006, 2007, all the way through till I did my master's in 2013. So, but when I was in San Diego, Paul showed us a technique on how to balance the chakras. And then after working with the fake shaman and then finding the second fake shaman, I found a really good shaman and then started doing her course. But she didn't want to take me to the higher level for whatever reason I don't understand. I kept asking her, but she didn't really tell me. So I've decided to do the 9 rites with Alberto Villoldo, and I'm just doing an introductory course at the moment, which I'm on class number 5, and there's 10 classes altogether. But I've still learned the shamanic techniques from the shaman that I was seeing in London, which was really, really good. The only thing that put me off is that we were paying a huge amount of money to see her every session, and then to be told we're not going to be taken to the higher level. It was a bit of a letdown, you know what I mean? Because I had my heart set on going to the higher level. Now, she might have her own reasons for that, which is fine, but I still feel like I didn't get all of what I paid for. Does that make sense? But it's been a long while since I saw her anyway. But she is really good at what she does, and you definitely feel it afterwards for the next couple of days. And I definitely always felt it the next couple of days with her, whereas all the others I didn't. So when you're looking for a shaman or an energy healer, if you don't feel anything the next day and you don't see any life changes or the way that you think changing, then they're probably faking it. Does that make sense? I know if I meet a shaman and they're healthy, they'll have good energy, they'll think in a certain way. I remember the shaman telling me that, the London one, that she said that, no, sorry. It was a client of mine and she wanted to do, ayahuasca and go out to Peru and work with the shamans. And I said to her, you can go and see this one, but you might not be suited to that one. So find which one you're suited to. And there was a scorpion walking along the floor in Peru, and the shaman just stamped on it and killed it. And lucky enough, my client saw that and decided not to work with that shaman because it put her off. Shaman's about healing and loving and not about killing the planet. The same as when I booked to go to Peru and I was really ill, so I couldn't go, which was really annoying. And I paid to see a shaman to learn how to use the chompy stones. And when I sent her an email to say I couldn't make it, can I have a refund? No, you can't have a refund. But why? I'm not coming. You're not doing the treatment on me, so why are you not going to give me a refund? And because it's in Peru, it's going to be a nightmare to try and get the money back. So I didn't pursue it. But because I couldn't go and the flight was knackered and lots of other things happened during that time, I thought it was really out of order that could happen. And I'm working with a client now, and she went out to Peru not to do the ayahuasca or to do shamanic healing. She got a purse robbed when she was out there. So that just tells me that you got to be really careful in Peru, as well as really careful in London, in which to find a really good person to work with that's going to care about you and not just about the money. Does that make sense? So when I do a shamanic healing on friends or a client, I really want to know how they're feeling afterwards, and I'll text them for the next couple of days. Are you okay? Is everything all right? Hope you didn't have a bad experience. And I've never had anyone say to me, oh, that was really bad, that was horrible, or I didn't feel anything. Does that make sense? So this time last year, I had a client and she'd lost a family member, and it was really affecting her. And her boyfriend said to me, oh, Scott, she keeps crying, she's in a mess. Can you find out what's going on? I said, yeah, sure. So I got my dowser out and I dowsed on the chakras and found out the love chakra was really shut down and the communication chakra was shut down as well. So I re-energized, opened sacred space, done my woo-woo stuff and healed them two chakras and got them spinning and working again, and took out the hucha out of that area. And I see a smile come to her face, and I released the diaphragm, which enabled her to let go more, gave her a big hug and said, right, there's a bark flower remedy I'm going to buy you, and then we're going to check it on you to see if it, just do muscle testing, to see if it's the right remedy for you. And it was 100% the right remedy. And then about 6 weeks on, I said to the other client, how's she doing? And he said, she's a different woman. She's so different, Scott. I can't believe how powerful what you do is, even though it's so simple. So no antidepressants, no drugs, just bark flower remedy like this. This is one that I take, which is called Abundant. So that's Abundant bark flower remedy, which enables you to think more abundantly, if you're feeling a bit financially not abundant, if that makes any sense. I've got a few of them. So there's Abundant there. Then I've got, what's this one here? Clear and Calm, which sometimes I really need that. And then another one is Meditation. I use that as well. And then what's this other one here? This one, oh, that's oregano oil. That's not a healing remedy. And then I've got this other one, which is called Calm. So I use all these bark flower remedies because I feel that they They really, oh, sorry about that. They really work, and they don't damage the body in any way like a medical drug would. So I know that half the population now is on antidepressants, which is really sad because people are not getting to the root cause of the problem, and they think by taking a drug that that's going to help them overcome it, but it just doesn't. It just doesn't. They end up becoming addicted to the drug, or they end up doing double the amount to still numb themselves. Does that make sense? And if you look in antidepressants side effects, there's weight gain, there's anxiety, there's so many side effects, it's unbelievable. Is it really worth taking anything like that when you can go and lay on the ground and earth yourself, or sit under an old willow tree and just meditate and breathe? And I found that some people with huge anxiety or headaches, that just releasing the diaphragm can get rid of these symptoms of anxiety and depression, because they can't breathe properly. Does that make sense? So really watch out when you go and find a shaman, a healer, or a light energy person, and really look into what they're doing before you weigh out a load of money. Does that make sense? So I do my job, whatever healing I do on a client. Sometimes I do quick chakra balancing to get the chakras, flowing and moving correctly. And I'm just doing it with love. I'm doing it with love intention, no hate, no badness, nothing horrible. And that's why it's really important for me to only work with clients that I really like. So if I feel that there's a bit of negativity with a client, I will end up saying to them eventually, I can't work with you. Because sometimes there can be a clash of personality. I'm quite a headstrong person. I know my stuff inside out, and I don't stand any nonsense. And as soon as I start getting nonsense from people, because a lot of people will not understand the level of what a Czech practitioner studies to, for one, and then they might not understand the woo-woo stuff, especially if they're a left-brainer and they want to see science to everything. So I had one client say to me, so prove to me the chakras really work. And I went, well, look on my bookshelf of my 1,000 books. There's a book called by William A. Tiller, scientist, PhD, doctor, called The Science of Human Transformation, which is all about how they measured how the chakras work and how they interrelate with the whole body and how it affects motion, feeling, and how you're thinking. And this is what Dr. Alberto Villoldo has perfected in his 9 rights Peruvian system, is that you work out where the client is blocked. They might have been blocked or may have a karmic blockage in their family from 10,000 years ago. Now that's a bit way out there, I know that. But if you're open-minded enough and you let the shaman do their job and you let it happen, then this is how great healing and great rebalancing of your mental, emotional state can happen. And now they're talking about how the gut biome, the mouth biome, the nose biome, the ear biome is so important to keep healthy. And with Alberto Villoldo's system as well, you've got to be very healthy in which to do the shaman work. Does that make sense? So if you see a shaman that's really overweight, that's not in shape, that's not walking their talk, then don't work with them. Because what they will do is that negative energy that they will be holding on to, hucha they call it in Peru, will go into your body. And if you're healthier than them, they will zap your energy. Does that make sense? So really, really important that you remember these top tips I'm giving you from my own experience, in which for you to make sure you get a great shaman. Now, when it comes to psychedelics, many of my clients over the last couple of years, would you take psychedelics, Scott? Do you want to do some psychedelics? No, 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 no. I've got a client friend of mine, a relation of hers, took psychedelics in their teens and then was ill the rest of their life. I know a local guy took psychedelics and smoked a lot of cannabis, and now he's got schizophrenia and he's in and out of hospital all the time. So I would never want to take that risk. Or like Syd Barrett out of Pink Floyd, he took LSD and it messed his head up. He's passed away now. I think did he die of a heart attack or did he commit suicide? It was one of them. And he was the lead singer of Pink Floyd. So the way I look at hallucinogenics or plant medicine, I can tap into that energy of, like Paul says, emptying my bone and feeling what I need to do. So why do I need to take a trip, or why do I need to take ayahuasca in which to work with my clients? I don't need it. And like my shaman that I worked with, was it last year? No, a year before the pandemic, she said in Brixton you can buy ayahuasca, but it's polluted because it's been imported into the country. It's been flown on a plane. It's been kept in a glass jar. So you're not getting the essence of the rainforest in it. You're getting lots of negativity. So is it really worth doing that? And in lots of respect, the plant medicine, especially in the UK, you can't really get it. You can only get it in Peru if you want the real deal. But if you're taking it from your local drug dealer, then that will have lots of hucha, which is dark energy, in it because you're getting it from a dealer. Does that make sense? And another person that I know had done DMT, had done ayahuasca, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but they went mad. They're in a mental hospital. Is it worth that? I don't think it is. When I can feel stuff with my hands and I can call Great Spirit in when I'm doing the proper 9 rites with a client, because you've got to do a ceremony to open up to open up the portals, to let Great Spirit come in and help you do the healing on the client. Does that make sense? But one thing I will say is always remember 1000%, if a person says they're not into it, they don't like it, do not do it with them, because it won't work. They'll just sabotage it and block it. And if they are, so negative about it, why would you do it in the first place? Normally a person that wants a 9 rites or a shaman technique done on them, they've read up about it, they want to give it a try, and they're open-minded to it. But if they're very negative to it, don't even try it. Like I said in my last video, I had a guy that it took me a year before I even done drumming with them. Simply because I knew within myself that if I'd have done drumming with him like second or third session over the park, knowing that it would really help him in a massive way, because he was so close-minded until we worked together for a year, he would have asked for a refund and I would have lost the client. Does that make sense? So I learned to read my clients, and I really listen to the information that they're giving me at the beginning when we start working together, what they put on their paperwork, and then what they tell me when I'm working with them. So if they say I'm up for giving it a try, that's still not 100% good sign. But if they say, yeah, I want to do it, and sorry about the light going out, I really want to do it, I really want to give it a try, I'm quite excited about it, can you tell me more information or give me some more information, which I've got tons of it, to give to them to read up about it so they can learn more before I do any of the techniques. And what some clients get, like one of my clients, she's now in France. When I did it on her, she changed her career, she got pregnant, I think she's married now. So her whole life changed from what we did together because she was ready to change and was looking for another way to change her life. She tried everything else and nothing had worked. So I said to her, just do what you love and let's do the healing. We did it over Hyde Park. We was over there for 2 hours and it was quite emotional. She released a lot. And that's another thing with a good shaman. You may pay them for the hour, but it might go into 2 hours. I don't charge my client for the 2 hours. I charge them for the hour because I just don't know how they're going to be. And if I release the diaphragm, that's connected to the love chakra. And if they've had a traumatic event happen to them, and that's why that chakra is closed down. And then I release the diaphragm and it reinvigorates it. This can bring up lots of mental, emotional issues where I have to be ready for that to console and help my client. Like I had a really big guy that happened with, and he was in bits. So the session wasn't a 1 hour session, it turned into a 3 hour session, but I only charged him for the hour simply because I'm a loving guy. I really love what I do. And I know what it's like to be rushed out. Do you know what I mean? I don't like that myself. You know, I like to be cared for compassionately and caringly and not to be lied to. You know, I love people that if they think I'm a dick, tell me I'm a dick. You know, I will respect you more for telling me to my face, which most people ain't got the bottle to do it because of me 18-inch arms. But I respect a person for saying it to my face than rather stab me in the back. Does that make sense? And me personally, if there's something I don't like about you, the boss has no problem telling you. You know, I had a problem with Hugo Boss and I went into their store off of, where is it? Off of Oxford Circus. It's their prestige store. And I went in there, the service was absolutely terrible. And I spend about probably £300-400 every time I go in. I'm a big Boss fan. I'm a big fan of designer clothes. And the only reason why I'm a fan of designer clothes is because one, the quality is excellent. And two, they're got organic cotton in, or they're all completely organic, which is great. And just the texture and the feel, like of this Boss top, it's quite expensive, but the quality is amazing and it's organic. So I'd rather have organic cloth on my body than rather, you know, non-organic and stuff that's been made in a sweatshop. Does that make sense? So hopefully, as far as I know, the trendy stuff that I wear is all organic and ethically sourced. Well, Hugo Boss is, you can look on their website and stuff like that, you know. So it's nice to look trendy and designer, but knowing that the stuff is ethically made with the best material, the best quality of material, without getting a toxic load from it, if that makes any sense. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, 24 minutes, about how to spot a good shaman to a bad shaman, or a good healer to a bad healer. We could talk about good trainers and bad trainers, and the clients that I see, if they've got a program, a lot of them haven't, when I see their programs, they've like 25 exercises. That's just totally wrong. No rep sets, loads or tempos, no specific stretching for the individual muscles and core exercises for their weakness. All trainers give everyone the plank, but if 72% of people who've got disc herniation, not everyone should get the plank. Well, especially the full plank, the side plank would be better. Does that make sense? Because it's not putting sheer load into that disc, the L5S1 or another disc that it could be hurting, and then they hold it for too long as well. But that's another story. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, please share, please like, and we'll chat again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.